Well, thank you, Tim, and thank you to everyone for attending and seeing what sort of projects that we're about to present. Moving on to the next slide, just before was our disclaimer containing also all of our ASX announcements, which you can read at your leisure on the ASX website and also on our own website. DevEx Resources, as Tim mentioned, is a mineral explorer focused on exploration discovery through the drill hole and through drilling of its projects, with a key focus on exploring for gold and copper in New South Wales in the Lachlan Fold Belt, and also in Western Australia, exploring for nickel-copper-platinum group elements in the West Australian region of the Julimar intrusion complex, which is a new discovery that's been happening this year. We're a junior mineral exploration company, and we are very much leveraged for discovery success through the drill hole. If you go to the next slide, I'll just explain. So as mentioned, we're a junior explorer. We've got a market capitalisation of around $20 million, $27 million, and we recently completed a capital raise, which sees us with sufficient cash funds to commence and move forward into drilling exploration for the foreseeable future. Our major shareholder is our chairman, Tim Gorder, with at the moment about 19% of the company, and is supported by a strong board and a top 20 of mineral explorers and experienced explorers in that. If you move to the next slide. Thank you. So to explain the group and myself, I'm a geologist by trade. I've been in the business of exploration for over 25 years through generation, identification of opportunities, through to resource development and eventual underground mining of high-grade assets. Tim is known to many people, and Tim has had a fantastic year this year. He's very much a strong mineral exploration enthusiast. Those that know Tim knows that this year has been successful. He has been involved in establishing strong companies, including the likes of Liontown, Chalice Mines, and also Strike Energy, where his focus has been around building a group of successful mineral explorers around that are focused on building up these targets and progressing through drilling. Over in our New South Wales project is Chris Torrey, our chief geologist, and Chris is based in New South Wales and is currently actively exploring on our New South Wales projects. So if I move forward to showing you our general area where we're focused on in New South Wales within the Lachlan Fold Belt. The map you see on the left-hand side is the general lay of the land within the main area of the Macquarie Arc, where some of the Australia's biggest porphyry copper gold mines are located. So just for scale, down on the bottom right, you can see where Canberra is, and then to the north, you can see Parkes. The green rocks represent the right sort of Macquarie Arc rocks that you see in the region, and the red dots show you some of the major mines, including the world-class Cadia Ridgeway project, North Parkes, both porphyry copper gold deposits occurring at the same age, and quite spectacular. They're being mined by Newcrest and by China Moly. Our projects are located also down in the south. They're the orange outlines through there. We've been quietly and building up a portfolio of exploration projects 100% owned to DevEx, whereby we've been taking advantage of new information that's been coming out from the survey, where they've been finally mapping down this region and age dating the rocks, and they're finding porphyries down here of the same age as what you see at Cadia Ridgeway and Parkes. And that's really started a bit of a pegging rush down in there, and we've been able to peg the ground that we've got, and we're really excited about what we're doing. To take an example of that and drilling down into one of our projects at Basin Creek on the next slide, if you can move to the next slide, just showing you in the central part of our Basin Creek tenement, we've been building this exploration opportunity up for the last 3 months at the Main Ridge prospect. What you're seeing as a slide here is showing you the soil geochemistry for gold, and we're very much focused on gold exploration, which was what we're seeing at the surface. So we've sampled the soils, we're looking at the gold distribution in the soils, which we hope is representing the underlying rocks. Where we see rocks outcropping, we've been taking rock samples of those, and we're seeing quite a lot of +1 gram per tonne gold through this system. And what's outstanding to me and what I like about it is the scale. You can see there that we're seeing anomalies that are 1,000 meters long, 400 meters long, and 600 meters long. It's quite large scale for an exploration target that really hasn't seen any drilling since the mid-80s, and what drilling has been there has been minimal at best. What overall we're seeing here is a very large and extensive 4-kilometer long gold system with extensive alteration of the actual rocks that are there. So these are the targets that we're planning to start drilling in the coming weeks, and this is really what our focus is going to be, both at the Basin Creek, and if I can just drill down into the next slide, for example, in the north, where we've been rock chipping and also doing the soil geochemistry, you can see what the scale of the system looks like. It's 1,000 meters long. We're seeing rock chips up to 8 grams per ton gold, and only 1 or 2 holes that were drilled back in the 80s with significant gold found nonetheless. So where the white dots show where we're planning to drill, and that's what we plan to do in the next few weeks. So, you know, we're very much focused on get the rig turning, and let's hope for some good results in that area. Moving to the northwest at our Junee project, close to Basin Creek, about 60 kilometres to the north in the Wagga area between Wagga and Gundagai. We've been building this project up for the last 2 years, ready for drilling, and again, that's what we plan to be doing next month. So if we just zoom in on the project on the next slide, to give you an example, what we're showing you on the right-hand side is generally airborne magnetics, where they look at the magnetic signature of the rock. The red outline to the north of our tenement is the Kubar monzonite, and that was recently age dated by the survey to be the same age and same chemistry as the Cadia and as the North Parkes porphyry copper deposit. So we're really excited about looking on our tenement, similar magnetic anomalies that are lying under cover and thin cover at best, and at Nangus Road, and also some of the other anomalies at Riversdale North and Billabong Creek, which when we zoom into this white box on the next slide, and if you can see on the right hand side, we're showing you these prospects of the magnetics. What we're seeing is, for example, at the Riversdale North prospect, is we've been on the ground, there's limited outcrop, but what outcrop we do see is we see significant alteration, and we're able to see copper on surface. We're able to rock chip results up to 1% copper. We're also seeing small gossinous rocks, which are the oxidized version of what we believe to be sulfides. And those gossinous rocks are high in gold, so we can see up to 2.8 grams per ton gold and 0.4 copper. So we're seeing nice alteration. We're seeing, you know, the right sort of metals that we're chasing for. Nobody's drilled these prospects. Nobody's gone in with any deep drilling into these targets. And we've then subsequently this year come out with some ground geophysics, looking for the presence of copper sulfides at depth and looking for the presence of sulfides with something like IP geophysics, which is these lines that you see there. And coincidentally, we're seeing IP anomalies over these targets. So these figures here are just slices of the IP lines going out through these prospects. So the top of the slide here, you can see that, you know, where we're seeing alteration, where we're seeing scattered alteration through the area with copper and also some gold. When we did the IP, lo and behold, we're seeing an IP anomaly underneath. And so it's not rocket science. What we want to do is get the rig on there and start drilling, and that's what we're planning to do alongside and in tandem with what we're doing down at Basin Creek. We're going to go up and drill these porphyry copper gold targets up here, both at Riversdale North, Billabong Creek, and likewise at the Nangus Road prospect. So that's going to be our focus in the coming months, is getting that rig turning and hopefully hoping for some pretty good results. And that's really what our game is here. Moving to the next slide, stepping out in scale and moving over to the west in the what we're now calling the Julimar complex region. Just zooming in on the next slide, just showing you again magnetics for the region and the general layout, just northeast of Perth. This has really started a strong pegging rush in this region following earlier this year's discovery by Chalice Gold Mines at the Julimar nickel-copper-PGE deposit located, and you can see it on the diagram there, a nice magnetic anomaly there. You know, their drill holes, which you can go to their website, has found some really outstanding grades of palladium and nickel and associated copper. And so we've pegged the grounds, and we've got applications to the south, several applications to the south, and also to the north, where we've got a 100% owned application, and recently we've done an earn-in deal with the Bauxite Explorer ASQ, Australian Silicate Quartz Group. And the beauty of that ground to the north, which is the one I like, it's located between Chalice's discovery and another nickel-copper-PGE prospect being explored by Cassini Resources to the north. And we're very much focused in our tenement to the north there on those magnetic complex anomalies that are there. And fortunately, with the earn-in deal that's been done, ASQ's done a lot of the hard work. And if you go to the next slide, their license is granted. That's what we like about it. They've already done the hard work with getting land access agreements in place. And so that gives us the ability to get on the ground now, which is what we're doing. We're looking at the region where there's a lot of surface bauxite around and over the top of those magnetic anomalies. ASQ have previously carried out vacuum drilling targeting surface bauxite, and so there's shallow holes, but we've got access to their samples and we're currently analysing those samples, you know, in the hope to see what's underlying the bauxite and over the top of these magnetic anomalies, which is our primary target. So we're very much early days. This region has not seen any real exploration for this style of deposit, and it's really Cassini and Chalice that have been, with the discoveries that happened with Chalice, it's really sort of urged this area for a new look. And so we're really excited about exploring this really virgin ground. So watch this space, and we're just building these targets up as we go over the next few months. So just in summary and wrapping it all up, we're very much focused in New South Wales and the Lachlan Fold Belt. There's been a lot of success in the last 18 months in the Lachlan Fold Belt with discoveries like Alkane's Boda deposit to the north of us. And overall, that leads into quite a lot of exploration in the region. We've been focused on defining drill targets, and both for gold, surface gold mineralisation with what you see at Basin Creek, and that's what we're going to kick off with a drill rig in the coming weeks, and also some significant scale porphyry copper gold targets at the Junee project to the northwest, and likewise in tandem we'll plan to be drilling that at around about the same time. And meanwhile we're advancing and we're on the ground exploring in the sovereign nickel-copper-PGE project north of Chalice's recent discovery. All right, and that's just a general timeline, but as mentioned, we're really focused on the drilling. So that's going to kick off in the next couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to seeing what results we get from drilling those projects. All right, thanks very much.
Thanks, Brendan. A couple of questions. One in regards to, you know, being a junior explorer, the funding markets can kind of go from feast to famine. How have you found support from the capital markets at the moment? And is it kind of commodity specific?
Look, there's a lot of interest out there for gold explorers, and you know, gold explorers with quality targets that they're going to be drilling. So, you know, people have seen success in the recent sort of 6 months, and there seems to be a lot of support for that. And likewise with the new discovery in the west for the nickel-copper-PGEs at Chalice, likewise there's quite a lot of people very interested in the fact that it's very fresh ground and the opportunities are really there for discovery. And so as we're a junior explorer with a market cap of around $25 to $27 million, we're very much leveraged towards how our drill holes result and what happens with our drilling. So the support out there is quite strong, and the interest is very strong, and we've found that with our capital raise.
And do you find that you get some interest from the bigger companies to invest alongside you or invest in you?
There's a lot of interest in the New South Wales region, and you know, we've been talking with some of the major companies in the region. Their interest is there. At the moment, what we're doing is building up that. We're doing what we can do, and we're building up those targets for drilling, and that's what we want to do ourselves. So, you know, we're 100% owned on these projects, and we can continue to explore in this space. And especially a project like Main Ridge, where if we're making a discovery on Main Ridge, for example, which is gold at surface, moving that forward is really within our scope, and that's what we're looking to do. We welcome the majors' interest, and we're certainly happy to chat and talk about it. But right now, these are quality targets that we want to drill ourselves.
And the Lachlan Fold Belt is, you know, very well known. It's, you've got a footprint there. How did you end up with that footprint, given you're surrounded by some of the bigger companies?
We were following what the Geological Survey were doing down there when they started mapping in 2017, and they released their results late 2017. When we became aware of those results very, very quickly, we immediately started pegging ground in that region. You know, the age of those porphyries down there are not as common as you think, and to find an age of a right chemistry, the right age of the porphyry to Cadia and Parkes really sparked us off, and that's what we went going. And of course, as you get ground and as you become more focused, we've been able to build up that portfolio of over 600 square kilometres, and that's really drawn us into Main Ridge, which is, you know, spectacular. I've been exploring Southeast Asia for over 8 years with my previous employer, looking for those sort of targets, and lo and behold, I come back to Australia and I can find them right in the back door of New South Wales, in country New South Wales. So we'll see where we go with the drilling.